Okay, welcome to 10 and our subseries Tech Culture with our partners BetterCulture. I'm Shauna Dorsey with the Nebraska Tech Collaborative powered by Exarban, and I'm here today with
Kevin Hensel, Senior Consultant with BetterCulture.
excellent. So, can you tell us a bit about BetterCulture and then we'll get into it?
Absolutely. So we believe that culture makes the world a better place to work. And so we provide organizational culture and leadership development programming, both in person and online, for organizations to help improve culture with the correlation that a better culture equals better business.
Yes, love it. And so, in this series, we're talking about the 20 tenets of BetterCulture. And today we're on 17, and
Yes.
17 is
17 is standing up,
okay.
right?
Tell us more about that.
Well, we talk a lot about leaders and their impact in an organization, but really every single person in an organization has the opportunity to be a leader, even if it's not a positional leader, right? Everyone has influence. Standing up is really a reinforcement of everyone's responsibility to create and maintain the culture that they want to have. So the example that's provided within our online learning around this particular tenant is maybe a teacher who's been underperforming, isn't necessarily a very good teacher. A new principal comes into school and evaluates this teacher, and recommends that their contract not be renewed. Uh, they file a grievance, right? And there's a hearing, and unfortunately, no other teacher from the school shows up to support the principal. So in that scenario, what we're talking about, and if we take that to a broader business sense, we believe strongly that good people have the right to work with good people. And if you want to work with good people, you have to participate in standing up for what is right within a team, within an organization, even if it may be uncomfortable or may go against an existing relationship, right? We're all aware. It would be nice if we were not aware, right? But we've probably all been in work environments where we've worked with someone who's just kind of going along with their oars laying in the water, not really participating, not doing any more than they really need to. Um, those individuals need to be held accountable by their peers in the most perfect and dynamic culture, right? Not just by a supervisor. But if the conversation has to be had by the supervisor, oftentimes, unfortunately, those individuals will come out and maybe gossip about getting some feedback, um, and the other team members need to hold strong to uh, supporting that leader in trying to make the individual as good and successful as they can be, and thus the team as good and successful as they can be.
Mhm.
I've rambled a little on this, and you're looking like you've got a great thought.
No, I don't. I'm just like pondering. I'm like, that is fascinating because this is about us, if my understanding of it, and let me know if this is incorrect, but it's about all of us holding each other to the standard, I guess, is like the best way I can put this, but like the standard of the culture we're trying to either create or
Absolutely.
maintain.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, right? And so often, again, it's somewhat human behavior that, oh, well, here's what I want, but I want somebody else to do that,
Yeah.
right? And we are firm believers that certainly from a leadership standpoint, it's that cascading down of the attitudinal and behavioral norms that set the culture for the organization. But once those behavioral and attitudinal norms have been identified, it's now everyone's responsibility to engage and hold each other accountable to, hey, this is the way we work here. Another great example is when someone new comes into the organization and maybe they are not engaging in behavior that aligns with the culture, right? Someone not from a formal leadership level, but someone giving them a nudge and saying, hey, that's not how we operate around
Mhm.
here.
Mm.
right? Another great example, and gossip was a previous tenant,
Yep.
is setting people up for success on how to shut gossip down
Mhm.
when it's starting, right? So that the gossiper immediately gets met with resistance and people don't engage. And now, well, what fun is gossiping alone,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
But you've really got to be able to coach people, arm people with respectful ways to be able to stand up for
Mhm.
what's right, right? To be able to support those leaders if it needs to be in the decisions that they're being made, or support the overall organizational culture. But sometimes people are challenged with, well, but what literally are the words that I should use,
Yes.
right? Or how do I do that and not fear for some type of retaliation or repercussion?
Yep.
And so this is where all of the dynamics of the tenants come together, of having that safe space where standing up is actually encouraged and praised,
Mhm.
rather than there being an environment where on the sly someone's, kind of afraid to go to the restroom alone.
Right. Yeah, that's really good. So what advice do you have for, like, what to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, First and foremost, especially in a gossip situation,
Mhm.
right, is having a conversation with folks. So first and foremost, what the expectations are around gossip, that it is a cancer in an
Mhm.
organization or on a team, and having folks understand the repercussions of what gossiping does. Secondarily, it's their responsibility to shut it down. And then the way in which they can shut it down is, hey, this individual is not here to participate in this conversation. And so therefore, I'm not going to participate either.
Right.
Right. It can be respectful, it can just be short and sweet. But having some tool to pull out of your tool belt to respond appropriately, right? And then you can say, let's talk about, didn't your son have a soccer game this weekend? Right. And
Mhm.
immediately shifting to a place where now I'm not going to judge you or hold it against you that you were attempting to engage in a behavior that's contrary to our culture.
Right.
I'm just letting you know it's not okay, but let's do something that is okay.
Yep. Yep. So, like, kind of a redirect. Okay, that makes sense. Got it. So this is all of these topics are so fascinating because I'm sure you and I can both think of situations where they've come up in the past and you're like, oh, yeah, that was tricky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And navigating it well is like one of the most important things that we can do, especially in these more challenging, with these more challenging topics. So, like, standing up for the culture, standing up for yourself too, right? So,
Absolutely.
is there a feedback guidance you have for an individual who might need to stand up for themselves in a situation?
Find a great coach,
Mhm.
whether it's inside or outside of the organization. Let them know. Typically, folks have encountered situations where they're reflecting, saying, "Oh, I wish I would have said something," or "I wish I would have done something."
Mhm.
If that's the case, find someone to talk to that you trust and admire, that can provide you with some coaching on how to deal with that.
Yep.
I've had a couple of situations where in a human resources role, folks have come to my office saying, "Hey, I don't need you to fix this, but I need your help in how I fix this."
Right.
Right. And then they've come back later saying, okay, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Mhm.
And I feel so much better about
Yeah,
having stood up.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that weight lifted, the empowerment, the confidence building it provides because, like, it's always the first time that's the hardest when you do have to stand up for yourself or someone else,
Absolutely.
but
And it
it's
and it
yeah.
again, done respectfully, done around, "Hey, that's not how we operate here."
Mhm.
It sets a boundary without it being nasty,
Yeah,
right?
that's great. Okay. Any
Good.
final thoughts on this one?
No, again, it difficult to do,
Yeah,
but highly productive to either maintain or continue to move forward to that culture of excellence. It
agreed.
takes everyone.
It's so true, and I believe too that one of the core pieces of this and many of these other topics is that it really supports building a person's self-worth so that they're able to show up at work and be their most productive self, and not have to take this stuff home that's heavy and hard, and their spouse, partner, or family friends can't really understand because they don't have a lot of context. So being able to address it with the people that are directly impacting you
Oh,
is
what an
so
excellent
cool.
point.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, right?
Mhm.
Because then you get past it. It's not weighing on you. It's not rolling into the next day and the next day.
Exactly.
And most likely, you're not going to see that behavior again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you
Super.
again.
Yeah. Thank you.